Today, I'm here to teach you about the poem The Daffodils of Your English, that is from chapter 2, written by William Wordsworth. Okay, so we need to know what the poem Daffodil is trying to tell us. As it is being written by William Wordsworth, a famous poet who is also considered as a romantic poet, he has written this poem. And the poet is trying to tell us about a flower, that is the daffodils. Daffodils is a flower. Okay, and he compares the daffodils with many things. He compares it with nature, he compares it to the stars, he compares it to the clouds, he himself compares it to the clouds. So we will come to know what is the poem basically about. It's a very interesting poem. Okay, so I shall start. You see what is being written, just follow your book. The first stanza of the poem: the I wandered lonely as a cloud that float on higher or waves or hills, when all at once I saw a cloud, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So what is the poet telling in this first stanza? In the first stanza, the poet was traveling aimlessly, just like a cloud. You see, as the clouds in the sky, it is moving from one direction to the other aimlessly. Aimlessly means there is no aim, there is no destination. It is moving without any aim, because it has got no place where to go, where to stop. Wherever the air takes the wind, the air takes the clouds, it will go to that place. So poet is telling that he is just like the clouds. He used to wander here and there, basically like the clouds. Okay, and also he also goes over the hills, over the valleys, over the mountains, over the lakes of England. Okay, at that time suddenly he came across a large number of golden daffodils beside the lake and under the trees. The flowers were fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So when he was wandering as a cloud in the sky, he himself compares himself to as a cloud wandering in the sky. So when he was wandering, when he crossed the lakes, the valleys, the mountains, he came across a host of golden daffodils. He came at a place where there were many daffodils flower there, and they were all fluttering and dancing in the breeze. And since the air was blowing on that area, and the flowers were one dancing from this side to this side, and it was all golden in color. He compares the flower to as a golden color, and the flower basically is golden in color, and he is telling that such a beautiful scenery we can get by this daffodils flower. He is telling the poet directly compares himself to a cloud as he was wandering without aim, just like the cloud. He is an example of a smile. Smile is a figure of speech where two things are compared, used or like. Now poet is telling that when he was wandering as a cloud, when he saw the daffodils, he got so much of joy by seeing the daffodils that he thought that I am the most joyful person in the world right now, because you see, there are many artificial beauties that we can see in this art, but natural beauty you cannot compare with any of this thing, right? So he is telling that he was getting an endless joy by seeing the daffodils flower fluttering from this side to that side by the breeze. The breeze means the wind. The wind was blowing, and the flowers are moving from this side to that side. It was very beautiful, the poet is telling in the first stanza. Okay, in the second stanza, what is the poet telling? You see, continuous as the stars that shines and twinkles on the Milky Way, they stretch in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Now, what is the poet telling in the second stanza? You need to know about that. So, he is telling that in the second stanza, the flowers are visible as far as the poet could see at the long shine bay. Okay, in the flowers were so much in number that when he was seeing the flower, he could see as far as the eye could go, or as far as his eye could see. He was just seeing the full of daffodils flower on that on the spot where he saw the daffodils flower. The flowers were compared to stars. The poet is telling that that the stars in the sky are so beautiful. In the clear night we can see the stars. So poet is comparing these daffodils to the stars. The poet is comparing this daffodil to the star. They are stretched in a continuous line like the stars in the galaxy, like the Milky Way. You see, most oftenly in the universal pictures also you can get that the stars, they almost stretch endlessly. There is no end. Okay, the galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, there are millions and trillions of stars there. It has got no end. Same, the poet is comparing the daffodil to the beautiful stars, that the flower has got no end. It is stretching as far as his eye could see, and it was so beautiful. This comparison with the stars may have a greater implication on the indication of the flower as the heavenly stars. So what is the poet telling? That as he compares this daffodils flowers to the star, he is also telling that this flower, he is not only comparing them as the stars, but he is considering this flower as a heavenly flower. Heavenly flowers are mostly the most beautiful flowers in the world. Okay, those flowers are in the heaven. So he compares this daffodil as a heavenly flower. Okay. and he was getting continuous joy by watching the flowers dancing in the breeze, moving as he was as he was a cloud. He himself compared himself as a cloud, but he wasn't a cloud in a real, but he is comparing himself as a cloud. Okay, again he said that is why he used the phrase never ending line here. Continuous and never ending line also suggests the flower everlasting impact. So he is also telling that this flower is everlasting. Suppose if someone tries to pluck up the flower's beauty get because after some days the flower will get dried up and the beauty will fade, and its beauty will fade. So the poet is telling that this is the everlasting flower. People will think twice or thrice before picking up that flower because it is so beautiful. Okay, Wordsworth exaggerates the number of flowers by saying 10,000 saw at a glance. That indicates the poet has never seen so many daffodils at once. Means the poet says that he has seen many flowers in his life, but he has never seen such many flowers and stretch in many, so far in number and so big in number, endlessly. And he is telling that there are countless daffodils there. You cannot count. It is so much. Okay, he is just telling. In the third stanza, we come to know that, you see, the waves in the bay were dancing and looking gleeful at the atmosphere, but the flowers only shone lively waves in their happiness. Having such cheerful companions, the daffodils, a poet like William Wordsworth, can also bring happy. He is gazing constantly at the flowers and enjoying their beauty. The word gaze is used twice to indicate how moved or charmed the poet was. So he gazed at them for a long time, forgetting their surrounding. So you see, beside that, as he was watching the daffodils flower there, so he got such there was such a feeling in his mind that he was not moving his eyes from one direction to the other, because he was constantly looking at the daffodils flower, because this beauty means completely natural and completely joyful beauty he is getting, and he is getting inner peace in his mind by seeing these flowers, daffodils. Okay, and he is also telling that the flowers are also gazing at him. When sometimes we walk on the road, we look at someone, the person also look at someone, we feel uncomfortable, but the poet was not feeling uncomfortable at that time. He was just telling that the flowers are also looking at me, and I was also looking at the flowers, and I was getting endless joy. I don't know what the flower was getting from me, but maybe they were feeling good because someone was completely stunned by their beauty, because the flower was so beautiful. Okay, by the stanza, he also says that whenever he lies on the bed in the vacant or thoughtful mood, the daffodils flashes upon him the inner eye, that is his imagination. The daffodils has become everlasting memory for the poet. So you see, when the poet compares himself as a cloud, and he was wondering, and when he saw the daffodils at the time, the clouds don't remain at a fixed place. So the poet also, when he saw those daffodils, he has to leave that place. He has to go home. He cannot leave there, right? So when he went home and he went to sleep, when he used to close his eyes, he used to get inner peace, because that flower gave him such inner peace. Each and every tensions from his mind, any evil thoughts or everything got completely diminished at that time, because that flower was so beautiful, and it has changed his life in some way or the other. Okay, it has given eternal peace to him. Okay, he's also telling that this is such a memory, that the scene of the flower is such a memory that I can never forget in my life, because I have seen many beautiful, because he's also telling that we can get lots of happiness and things by your family, from money, but that natural thing gave me such happiness which is not even compared to any of those happiness which I got in my life. Okay, the poet is telling here. And even he is also telling that the poet has been able to depict the landscape, and the poet here is telling that along with the landscape, means the flower where it was situated basically. So that entire landscape, it was looking such wonderful that he was just feeling like, as the flowers were dancing to the breeze, he was also feeling that I also want to dance with these flowers. Okay, and in my mind, basically I was not dancing, but I was just feeling like that my mind was dancing as the flowers were dancing by the air. Okay, he also mentioned in this poem that this was the only thing, that vivid thing, that gave him endless joy in his life. Okay, the daffodils flower. The poem Daffodils is all about this. Though William Wordsworth is a romantic poet, but he has written this poem Daffodils just mentioning the beauty of the flower, that how beautiful a flower can be. And sometimes we skip many beauty of natural things, but he is telling that when I focused on this flower, and when I gave little attention on this flower, I could see many peaceful things from this flower I could get many peaceful things from this flower, and inner peace I can get, which I cannot get from many artificial things and man-made things. Okay, the poet is just telling in this poem that. Okay, thank you so much.